Hey everybody, Mike Shaw from CI here. Everyone's implementing AI nowadays, right? So how do you know it's actually successful? Are you implementing something hoping it's going to work, looking back a few months later and not really knowing if it's having impact, but you could kind of in your gut say it is? That's where the CI Clarity framework comes in. We implement this framework prior to any implementation just to make sure that it's successful, make sure at the end of our implementations, both the client and ourselves are on the same page by the value this implementation is having, and we can determine what might be next in terms of how it can improve or optimize over time. So today I'm going to go over where to start, what to measure, and how you could determine success in your organizations. So starting with where you want to start. So you want to pick one leverage point, right? Something high volume, high pain, high turnover, whatever it might be. But you want to pick something that the organization is going to feel, right? Next, your unit of value. You want to talk in the same unit of value consistently throughout, right? If you're measuring something and that's your most important factor, you want to actually start there and focus on that. And you want to make sure you're just talking the same language as everyone else. The next two aspects kind of go interchangeably, right? You want to set a time horizon. We always like to say, start with 6 weeks, plus or minus, right? But that's like your average point there. Next is what are you actually enabling, right? Is it an assistant? Is it true automation? Or is it some type of analyze and advice, right? And all of these things might change your time horizon, meaning like you might pick something that has huge volume. So let's think patient onboarding, customer onboarding, whatever it might be. And you might be doing something like full on automation. So you might say that we have enough tickets that we can actually reduce the time horizon from 6 weeks to 3 weeks or 4 weeks and see that quantifiable impact. So this is where you're going to start. These four things we typically determine at the beginning of any kickoff, maybe even before we kick off, so that we actually know this going in. Now, once we know where to start, the next thing is what are we actually measuring? And this is clarity, right? The first aspect is capacity, your throughput. Are you doing more? Are you doing the same things faster? Therefore, you should be doing more, right? The backlog, are you burning it down faster? So if you're doing, let's say, 8 tickets in a sprint previously, are you now doing 12, 10, right? Are the tickets actually reduced? Next is leverage, cycle time, right? So let's say you're doing onboarding, right? We'll keep using that example, right? So your onboarding cases have gone up, right? You're actually able to onboard more patients or more customers. Now it's the time to onboard less, right? Are you asking less RFIs? Are you asking less questions if you're doing, let's say, a financial service onboarding? Are you reducing that due to this actual AI assistant coming in? So these two aspects, that capacity and that leverage, gives you that overarching quantifiable results that gets felt in your organization. Next is agility. So similar to capacity, capacity has speed. Agility also has speed, but this is about request to release, right? How fast are you able to react to something new? Maybe something you didn't have planned, right? That shrinkage in time, this like X factor is something we really love to see. Next is replicability, right? Now that you're able to reproduce this, so maybe you're doing customer patient onboarding and you're doing this just for your document reviews. That's where you started. So you're able to do that and you're seeing the capacity and the leverage and the agility happen. How fast can you actually reproduce that or replicate it across other aspects of onboarding? Is there customization that has to happen? What needs to change there to reproduce it? What insights are you getting in your implementation, right? Are you able to reduce steps? Do you see some kind of anomalies jump out? What insights? After the 6 week period's in, what trajectory? Is there something next that can occur that can make it even faster? And then finally, the thing that everyone likes is the yield, right? Are you saving money on your OpEx costs because you're actually doing things faster? Do you see a revenue lift because you're onboarding more customers, more patients? Do you see a faster time to revenue? These are all the things that you want to actually measure when you're doing it, right? Some things are crystal clear in terms of how you're going to quantify them, that capacity, that leverage, that agility. Other things are going to be a little bit harder, such as like the trajectory of what you're doing. Now that you have your measurement points, the next thing is your determinations of success, right? Because it's great to measure. How do you know if the measurements are actually good? Well, first is the business impact. pretty simple, straightforward, right? That aspect of the quantifiable business, your revenue going up, your OpEx costs going down, your ticket throughput going up, right? Things like that that are quantifiable. Next is the people impact. Are they more satisfied, right? Are they doing other things that make them happier at their jobs? Therefore, they're more satisfied. Are they just doing so much more than they did before? So they're actually happier with their impact there? Or their adoption, right? Do you have 90 to 100% adoption? Do you need more adoption? Why isn't it being adopted? Are some really important aspects. Control. Table stakes here should probably be in place prior to ever doing a POC or any type of pilot, right? But is your system auditable? Does it follow? Do you have proper AI guardrails in place? Security, privacy, so on, right? All these aspects of control that is needed for success. Then finally, scale, right? That aspect of reproducing and replicating it across your organization. So when you see compound wins go across, that's how you have real impact. When your thresholds go down, right? So your actual OpEx goes down, your time to do tasks go down, but your throughput goes up, you're seeing true scale throughout the organization. So typically here, right, we'll start this, and the kickoff phase, we'll then implement whatever new technology and measure this across that agreed upon time horizon to determine the success, right? And then at the end, we come back and we meet again to make sure that are we able to scale this out and go through this. I'm going to do videos in the next few weeks going over all the other aspects of this framework and how we work with our clients to determine they are successful. So stay tuned for that.